In an era where virtually any game franchise can be revived from the dead, it's difficult to say whether you're going to get the next Armored Core 6 or the next Homeworld 3. With Doom's ongoing renaissance, it's not hard to imagine an FPS franchise that managed to survive initially releasing the same year as Half-Life 2, returning more than a decade after its last entry. Yet the one thing that can make or more often break a multi-generational jump for a sequel is trying something new, and Painkiller's attempt at innovation is probably one of the biggest reasons it flew so far under the radar that it's practically already in the grave. The original Painkiller was pretty straightforward. It had a standard action FPS setup, and anyone who enjoyed the Quake or Serious Sam games would recognize the flow of the game and probably enjoy it too. With the grittier styling and the added fun of pinning demons to the wall with a giant stake launcher, it becomes pretty clear why it was so popular, even while FPS games were in the process of turning the corner to slightly more grounded and realistic shooters. While it had some less popular expansions, the 2012 remake/remaster refined not only the visuals of the game, but cleaned up some of the mechanics and gave a new audience an appreciation for an already fleeting era of the simple joys like blasting demon monsters without worrying about missing a story beat or turning on more than 4% of your brain. At least if you're not trying to find those classic first-person shooter secrets that I can't seem to discover even using all of the brain power I could possibly muster. 2025's Painkiller does, to some degree, have a good bit of this same design, at least on the surface. You'll still be tearing down wave after wave of demons, many of which are clone monstrosities, and using all of your agility and ammo to pick off the tougher ones mixed into the crowd. You'll also still have a version of the tarot cards that buff you up for each engagement, as well as many similar weapons that feature cool alternate fire modes, including that familiar stake-launching menace and its retained ability to turn any surface into a demon corkboard. Aside from some of the things you'd expect from a modern iteration of a game franchise, like the addition of movement enhancements with sliding and grappling hooks borrowed from other successful titles, the one feature that kneecapped the experience from the very start was the forced multiplayer component. The goal here seemed to be recreating a Left 4 Dead style experience. You're forced to pick one of 4 distinct characters, only 3 of which can be present at a time, based on their nearly perceptible bonuses and always perceptible dialogue littered throughout each match. Whether you go for more health, more damage, more energy regen, or more ammunition, you'll always be dragging around at least 2 other characters, either as bots or players, because the map design requires them for various tasks like unlocking gates and doors to progress. There's nothing inherently bad about this being a multiplayer game. Co-op shooters are among the most played games in my Steam account. But the first issue here is that the multiplayer aspect doesn't really feel like it fits within the nature of the game. Aside from those moments where you have to work together to open a door or get killed and need someone to revive you, there's almost no sense of real cooperation within the structure of the gameplay. The events where you have to complete an objective like powering up some kind of item with weird batteries or slaying enemies occasionally make it seem like more than one player is justified, but the other 90% of the time you wouldn't even notice another player on screen if you weren't specifically looking for them in the chaos. And then, of course, there's the elephant in the room, the player base numbers. For a multiplayer game to feel like it's multiplayer at all, it needs players, and Painkiller hasn't really had any from the moment it launched. In my random, not primetime play, I've had a couple of moments where 3 actual human beings were in my match, but most of the time I was just giving a guided tour of the levels to some bots. Bots that were mostly okay, at least at killing things, but as expected, suffered in those moments of trying to navigate the slightly more complex portions of the maps. And they'll never even attempt to participate in the objectives. However, the real players didn't add much either. When they sprinted off on their own adventures while I was scampering around trying to collect all of the currencies scattered on the ground or in various hard-to-reach platforms and secret locations, I almost wish the bots were back. Yet what's truly disappointing is that I feel like this could have worked reasonably well as a single-player focused multiplayer optional game. It sort of has the foundation of what is a solid roguelite experience where you can replay the levels in each campaign, culminating in a reasonably cool boss fight to collect more currencies and top out an in-screen score system with numbers so inflated you'll always feel like you did something special. You can use that currency to purchase more weapons, which you can then use to unlock those guns' abilities by completing specific tasks while using them. Then you can add new features and buffs to each one, like making that stake launcher fire 3 stakes at once and shoot a grenade as a secondary fire that has the potential side effect of setting those demon asses on fire. All of the weapons can gain elemental abilities that add to their power and can make some of the most chaotic moments in the game feel like just another walk in the tormented ruins of hell. That game loop is reasonably well crafted, and even being relegated to playing it with the partial participation of bots feels slightly more enjoyable than a purgatorial nightmare. However, with the focus on the co-op experience, you're most likely just going to be doing all of this with bots at your side unless you're good at convincing your friends to buy games they can only play with you. And while it's definitely fun to have a Doom-like shooter experience that at least somewhat harkens back to a single-player classic from the 2000s, it still feels better to play the 13-year-old remaster of Painkiller than to grind away by myself in a game that stole its name. So that's why it's getting the abbreviated score of OK. But if you'd like to see more hot takes, warm satire, and tepid commentary about video games, like this video, get Mega supporter Adam Wutke out of Purgatory, and check out more abbreviated reviews.